meu jeito de viver. Ninguém nunca foi igual. A minha vida é fazer o bem vencer o mal. Pelo mundo viajarei, tentando encontrar um Pokémon e com o meu poder tudo transformar. Pokémon tem que pegar, isso eu sei, pegá-los eu tentarei. Pokémon, juntos teremos que o mundo defender. Pokémon tem que pegar, isso eu sei, pegá-los eu tentarei. Vai ser grande a emoção. Pokémon, temos que pegar.
Welcome to episode 70 of the Red Leaf Retrocast. Yes, it's the anime edition. If you've noticed by the title, we are talking the Pokemans. I'm your host JD, joined by Tori and Hickey. Which one of you wants to say hello to the millions and millions of listeners around the world first?
The millions and millions of listeners, yes, of course. Everybody tunes into the Red Leaf Retrocast to hear their hot takes on the hottest new anime, like fucking Urashiman and stuff like that, right? Yes, hello, it's me, Tori. Remember, I quit last episode, but I was rehired. Hey, how are you?
Hi,
Now it's going to take you another 90 days to qualify for the healthcare.
Hello,
Well,
I'm Tori.
you know.
I'm not paid to do this job. I actually escaped and now I got re-enslaved. Hello.
Yeah,
I'm back in
basically.
here.
What he said.
There's no healthcare, but it's fine. It's okay. We don't need healthcare, although at least Tori drinks a unbelievable amount of energy drink, and that is really bad for him. But still,
I don't drink an unbelievable amount of energy drinks.
Very believable.
I was about to say, if I have one energy drink a week, that's it.
that was a joke, but it's okay.
We don't know the...
I'm offended,
Tori,
Hickey.
Are you a doctor?
Okay, technically yes.
No.
A doctor-in-law. So yes, I can say that.
Doctor and
That is
lawyer
actually
operate
that is
under-
actually the
under
title of
criminals.
lawyers in Brazil are called doctors as well. So yes, I am a doctor actually.
Hello, my name is Dr. Hickalicious.
Hickalicious.
Just
You can find me down at the Club Stardust on Saturdays.
just unzips pants. Hello.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, that's how I introduce myself.
Look, man,
Zip, hello.
if you want to strip,
Casually.
if you want to strip, first you need to unzip your pants. Then you start a sexy dance, and you go from there.
And
You're
there I
really
thought you were a
glossing over the
doctor.
fact. You're really glossing over the fact that you just casually, nonchalantly just go, "Oh yes, hello."
Aye, what it is.
This cat of mine right now is unbelievably bad.
Lock him in the closet.
Out of there.
Put him in a bag and throw in a river with a rock.
It's so weird. These are all locations and places he doesn't usually go to, and he starts biting things he doesn't usually bite.
You
It's
say
usually the
that, but he
same-
does that every podcast, so I don't know if I believe
No.
you.
Yeah, there's-
He usually
there's no
jumps
way
on the
for us
table.
to
He's running
confirm.
around. Maybe he's biting the microphone cord. He's doing some of those things that he's more familiar with. This is now he's behind the PS4, trying to get. I see what he's probably getting at over there. Anything with paper.
Just nail him to the wall. It's okay.
Just nail him to the. Come on, what do you think this is? Pokemon?
Yes. Is it not?
Come on.
Just
Get
get
him
a
back in
cat.
the Pokeball.
Just get a cat some money and making him fight with other enemies, with other animals, by betting on it.
I mean, there is a corgi I would love to see my cat destroy that lives next door to me.
Oh, cool! Just wave $100 at the person and say, "Do you want to battle? wanna go? Wanna go?"
That's how it works. Don't explain the rules and then change them as I go.
Basically, Pokemon.
Oh, by the way, this is a tag team match. It involves humans, too.
Just pulls a
But only
gun.
one
Out
of
of there, cat!
only
Oh
one
my
of us get to
God!
use two
I
people,
gotta put
not
him in the
you.
room. Come on.
Go, little
Oh,
kitten,
yeah.
use your special
Yeah.
attack. JD pulls a fucking 9mm.
See,
Just
this is why
the
stuff like
Corgi.
this should be done before we start recording the podcast. JD,
Wow.
You should do this before you start recording the podcast. Now
Well,
everything is
I mean,
ruined.
No,
Like, what are
everything's
people?
not- come
What
on.
are people gonna think when they fucking listen to this podcast back? They're gonna be like, "Wow, these guys are bad.
Yeah, man.
They can't even organize a fucking podcast. I can't believe this."
I mean, if
they want to be an armchair internet activist, they can totally do that. A keyboard
Everybody
warrior.
This is episode 70.
That's everyone.
This is episode 70 of Anime Podcast Alone. If they didn't figure that out already, I feel very sorry about their mental health and overall, condition.
Some people are just slow, okay?
Oh, okay, sure. I mean, how can we be the very best if JD just keeps screaming up?
Anyways, how about we stop insulting our listeners?
No, come on. That's how you get more subscribers, more likes. Ring that bell. Wait, that's the wrong channel.
Ring that bell on my channel. That's right, Anime Top Scholar on YouTube.
If we didn't want to offend them, we wouldn't be here for the first time. Just doing this podcast is offensive, but that's only my opinion.
That's offensive to me, but
No, it's not. You still have your. Well, I mean, never mind. I was going to talk
Tori
about
has more
the channel,
subscribers
but-
than the Red Leaf Retrocast YouTube channel.
I do indeed.
Yeah, I'll talk about your YouTube channel, but that's not Tori. That's that other
That's
guy.
the Anime Top Scholar.
Although
Yeah.
I think I'm at 100 subs on Twitch now.
Yeah, but I don't stream on Twitch.
I think. Let me confirm this fact. This could be fact.
Anyway, my
Let's
week
see.
was very bad, so I'm sorry if I
have a bad week?
if I seem very sassy and offending the listeners just because I had a very bad week. That's not very common. So I really don't know how to react of having a bad day, let alone a whole week.
I was about to say, I don't understand how. I don't want to know what a bad week for you is, because you come home and be like, I was almost robbed today and almost hit by like 3 different cars, and yeah, it was a pretty good day. Generally, it's a pretty good day to be honest. Like,
Right.
Okay.
Right. But I had a very bad week. Everything was shitty.
I'm at 92.
Ha.
I'm close, though.
Ha.
Should probably stream more Dreams. People seem to like that. Have you guys heard of this game?
I've seen
I
it
have.
popped up. It popped out on my recommendation, but I was like, it was just like people recreating something in Dreams. Like, I don't know what game is this, but I don't know. Doesn't seem interesting.
It's very addicting because it's a... So, you guys familiar with the game Little Big Planet?
Yes.
Yes.
So, those people took a long, long time to create this universal engine that's quite user-friendly to create their own game within this game. And the amount of creativity and recreation people are able to do because of these mechanics that they've made is quite amazing. I just got the game yesterday, and I played a very faithful recreation of PT within it. It's quite fun, and then there's a lot of like weird meme shit, like a runaway horror maze stage with some like DJ disco guy. I'm not, you know me, I'm not familiar with the whole meme culture. But anyways, it's a blast to play. It's very fun. It's very goofy. A lot of lighthearted type stuff. People are recreating Happy Wheels within it, which is kind of funny. I don't know why you just wouldn't play Happy Wheels.
Because Flash is shutting down. Don't you know?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Why?
Outdated.
But who cares?
People.
Well, just because Flash is outdated now, I don't know. Whatever. So, Hickey, I'm sorry about your week. Mine was very...
It's okay. Well, it's not, but I'll survive.
You'll survive.
Well, I won't, but, you know.
Are you having a nice stiff drink for the podcast to
So
make all your
far-
sorrows go away?
No, I drank yesterday.
Oh, you got ahead of the game. Okay.
Yeah, now I'm just hungover, which just increases my miserability, but that's fine as well.
Miserability. I like that word now.
Okay, I'm glad I made
the
your
ability
day
to
better.
be miserable.
Yeah.
Miserability. Tori, how is your miserability level today?
My miserability level is about the same as always. So
Yeah.
50%. I'm right around.
Okay.
You've been watching anime?
I have not been watching anime because I've been watching Pokemon. And Pokemon isn't anime. It can't be anime. It's a cartoon for children, and cartoons for children aren't anime.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah.
Which is why we're going to review that later on this anime podcast.
That's right. On this cartoon podcast.
Next up, Looney Tunes. Although that would be quite fun. That is technically animation.
Not just technically, it is animation.
It's technically animation. It's I assume its miserability level is quite low as well.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know. I haven't seen Looney Tunes in years.
I just watched an episode at work the other day. My boss and I he started making jokes about that, and I'm like, man, I think that's a Looney Tunes reference, but I don't know. And then he just starts going, you ever seen Looney Tunes? I'm like, oh, we are thinking of the same thing. Good boss, underling moment. So, things are looking up at work.
You ever seen Looney Tunes? No, never heard of it.
No, Bugs Rabbit? Nah,
Bugs
can't
Rabbit.
say that I have.
Sorry. I was born and raised in the Japanese culture.
All right. I did pre-order because it was on sale for I think it was like 40% off. The Lupin the Third Fujiko's Lie movie. It's coming out at the end of the month via Right
Sure
Stuff.
is. Have you seen the other two movies that comes before it?
I have not. It's going to be a trilogy binge when I get all three of them in my possession.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be quite fun.
Yeah.
Very much looking forward to that. Yeah, there was a lot of Lupin movies and whatnot on sale on Right Stuff over the past few days. So I'm like, oh my god! I was looking at your My Anime list, Tori.
Mine, yeah.
Which ones scored the highest with you, and which ones did not, and a lot of 6s and 7s.
Yeah, basically. That's about where Lupin falls for me generally. It's very rarely lower, very rarely higher. I think the high the Woman Called Fujiko is the highest at a 10, and then the other standouts are like those those are sitting at an 8, and then the rest are like 7 and 6s. With I think 1 4 or 2, something like that.
Which, if you listen to our Lupin special podcast episode we did, Tori talks about his 5 favorite Lupin movies, and we reviewed 3 specials on that episode. Go check that one out. It's one of my favorite ones we've ever done.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was a fun one. All right. I guess I'll play a drop, and we can get into Tori's quest. What do you say, guys?
No.
No? What, you got other things to do?
Yeah, I have better things to do with my life.
All right, well, too bad you're stuck here.
Too bad.
All right, Tori, go.
Oh, shit. That was fast.
Yeah, go Astro Boy. This was that one.
Okay, great. So yeah, basically, quest I do. I'm trying to clean down my plan to watch list because there's just too much shit on there that I've been neglecting for too long. So today I'm going to be talking about a little show that honestly, you have to be a pretty big man to watch this show. Like it's very manly, extremely manly actually.
Ooh.
It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for kids or women. It is just the manliest of manly men show. And that's a little 38 episode TV series from HAL filmmaker called The Princess Tutu.
Oh, that's right. You did mention this on the last episode.
I did indeed, and then you told me not to do it, and I said, JD, go fuck yourself. So, here we are.
Once every cast, I must be told this.
That's correct. And now that Hickey has stopped, I'm gonna have to take up that mantle. But anyways, it was directed by Junichi Sato, the same guy who's directed my favorite anime series, the Aria the Animation series. And the synopsis goes something like this. In a fairy tale come to life, the clumsy, sweet, and gentle Ahiru, Japanese for duck, seems like an unlikely protagonist. In reality, Ahiru is just as magical as the talking cats and crocodiles that inhabit her town. For Ahiru really is a duck. Transformed by the mysterious Dosselmeyer into a human girl, Ahiru soon learns the reason for her existence. Using her magical egg-shaped pendant, Ahiru can transform into Princess Tutu, a beautiful and talented ballet dancer whose dances relieve people of the turmoil in their hearts. With her newfound ability, Ahiru accepts the challenge of collecting the lost shards of her prince's heart. For long ago, he had shattered it in order to seal an evil raven away for all eternity. So, yeah, Princess Tutu is a tale of heroes and their struggle against fate, their beliefs, their feelings, and ultimately their actions will determine whether this fairy tale can reach its happily ever after. So, basically, this is a show that is very much inspired by, classic fairy tales. And, it's very interesting because, the way, now, I will say this immediately. I watched this show on High Dive, because you can watch it there, but it is only available in dub. So I had to watch it in English.
Oh.
The English
Did you use the
dub...
Red Leaf Retrocast login account?
I did not do that.
Oh.
I used my own. I used a 2-week... I used a 2-week trial to... because I just want to test it. I want to see what they had available for me. What was available in Norway. In good old Norway. And,
just get Urban VPN, which is available free online. You can log into the Red Leaf Retrocast High Dive account.
That's what I do.
Yeah, of course you do. Anyways, so yeah, so because of this, every name is pretty much the same except for Ahiru, because obviously her name is Duck. So in English, her name is Duck, which is kind of odd. Having people go around basically whenever they talk to her, it's like, oh, Duck. And she is a very hyper girl. But at first, she doesn't really know that she's a duck. She doesn't remember. But then she meets Dresselmeyer. And he is the antagonist of this show, pretty much. You can kind of put it down to him and the Raven. But Dresselmeyer is the main antagonist. Because he is the one who wrote the story about the prince and the Raven. And this story has now spilled out into real life. The characters escape the story, and everything is kind of transpiring in real life. But obviously, this is post their battle. So the Prince Muto is currently heartless and extremely just deadpan character. No emotion, nothing, and he is being pulled around by his friend, Fakir, who is very, very aggressive, very angry, doesn't really like people talking to him. And he also has a girlfriend named Iru, and Iru and Fakir does not get along, and Duck is trying to get involved with them because Duck likes Muto, but, she's a duck, so what are you gonna do?
So is this a love story between a man and a duck?
Actually, no. You see, the story goes that the duck, or rather, Princess Tutu, is from the story is trying to save Muto, save the prince, get his heart back together for him. That he had to shatter to seal away the dangerous raven. However, while Princess Tutu is in love with the prince, she cannot express her love for him, lest she shall disappear. That is the tragedy part of the story. So, despite the fact that she likes Muto, she can't really do anything about that. And that comes into play later. But the way the entire thing works is, it essentially takes elements from the fairy tale, and from a lot of classic fairy tales, and puts them into a real world setting ish, where because this is not normal, this isn't supposed to happen. the real world, what is considered real and what is considered fiction is starting to mix. So people will just like random, like for example, Duck goes to dancing class. So she goes to her dancing class, and their instructor is a cat. That's not normal. And Duck reacts to that at first. It's like, that doesn't seem right. But nobody's really bothered about it. Of course our instructor's a cat. Come on now. But okay, fair enough. Maybe this world is just weird. But as it turns out, it's because of the fairy tales influence on the real world that things are changing. And Drosselmeyer, the big bad himself, what he is trying to do is he's trying to create the ultimate fairy tale. The fairy tale where there is no happy ending, no happily ever after. Just a long tragedy where everything eventually...
A normal fairy tale?
Yeah, essentially.
Okay. But, not a Disney-fied fairy tale.
Exactly. But all the characters in the story are trying to fight him, trying to make sure that doesn't happen, because they want a happily ever after.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
It's easier to watch than it is to explain.
You should watch Princess Tutu. It's actually...
Yeah.
Looking at screenshots and stuff like that, it might look like a shoujo dumb show, but it's actually not. It's actually very fun.
Or you said 38 episodes?
Yes. However, I will say this. If you go on High Dive, you'll only find 26, and that is because the second half of... here it says it. Princess Tutu aired in 2 parts. The first part included 13 25-minute episodes, while the second part consisted of 24 12-minute episodes, with a 25-minute final episode for a total of 26 episodes. So that's how they... So on High Dive, they have everything split together, so you just get the 26 episodes.
Okay. That clears that little thing up.
Yeah.
I see.
But no, it's a fun... Like I said, it's kind of difficult to explain the show. You're kind of going to have to watch it for yourself. Like, I can't really, like, justify it. It's going to have to try to justify itself. It's definitely strange. It's got a strange bit of comedy. I will say, though, sadly, if you want to watch this dubbed, I'd suggest you don't. The dub is not good. There's a lot of, like, hyper... Like, you know that, like, moe voice acting? Like, when a lot of Western voice actresses, especially the voice actresses, try to, like, play moe characters, do the moe voice. It's very much that, especially for Duck. She's very genki, very, very high-pitched, very... not particularly great. And Muto, as the kind of, person, the guy without any emotion, the fucking just deadpan character. He is obviously deadpan, as you would expect, but for whatever reason, his voice actor decided that the only way he can portray this is by whispering everything. So Muto's basically just always whispering, which I find to be kind of weird. And then, even as he starts getting his heart charts back and gets more of his emotions back, he keeps the voice the same. He doesn't really change until right at the very end, when he has basically got his entire heart back together, which I thought was a little bit strange. I feel like you would have tried to gradually, like when he gets his anger back, I feel like you would have at least had him try to, whenever he has one of those times where he gets a little bit angry, or the times where he gets a little bit scared. I thought you would try to portray that a little bit more, but he doesn't, for whatever reason. I don't know if that's the way it is in the Japanese one. I have no idea, but that was a little bit jarring, and that's pretty much just across the board. The voice acting isn't very great, and it also has that problem with a lot of I'm just gonna say it. With a lot of Western and especially like American-speaking voice actors and actresses. Since the names aren't English, they have no idea how to pronounce them. So whenever somebody tries to say somebody else's name, the pronunciation of their names will vary greatly from person to person. It just sounds very... Like, for example, Prince Muto was in the English dub. Prince Muto. Right? Just really fucking trying to pronounce the entire... Like, it's kind of annoying. It
sounds
really is.
legit.
Yeah, it literally feels like they just got the name on a piece of paper in front of them, and like nobody tried to bother to say that like this is how the name is pronounced. And then whenever they try to say it, they just literally put a finger under the name, go like spell out every letter, and they're like Muto. Yes, that's his name. It's like that's the dub isn't great. It is not great. So if you can, probably watch it subbed. But you know. It's I don't like dubs, but I survived through it. But it's not. I would have liked not to.
Clearly, it should have been a Norwegian dub that you watched.
We'll talk about that later. We will definitely talk about that later. But yeah, no. So Princess Tutu is a very interesting concept. It's a concept that I have not really seen anybody else explore to this degree. We've seen, for example, Recreators in recent times, which takes a lot of a similar, not the way the story is presented, but a similar concept like fictional characters and entering real life. It's kind of the same, but except in this case, it's a lot more grounded for a while until they actually start realizing that they are fictional characters, because some characters know, some characters don't know, and there's a whole bunch there, and there's essentially all controlled by Drosselmeyer to begin with. He is the one who dictates everything, and that to me is probably the most interesting concept, because you have a guy whose writing is essentially law here. Like, even if they don't want to do what he says, well, if he writes it, you have to. You don't really get outside that. So it's trying to fight that. I do still think that the show has a little bit of issues here and there. The pacing is a little bit up and down. Some episodes takes a long time. It especially takes a long time getting started, I feel like. You don't really understand what's going on quite for a while, but it's an interesting concept. So I ended up giving it a 6. I think it's a fine show. But I didn't particularly love it. But I definitely think it's a show that is worth checking out. There are probably more people that are going to like this way more than I did. I mean, it has an 8.18 on Mal, so somebody's got to like this show.
At least a couple people, right? You would think.
Yeah, maybe. Unless, of course, it just got review bombed and Mal decided not to do anything about it,
Oh, well, that's possible. Alrighty. So, Hickey, have you seen Princess Tutu?
Yes, but it's been a while. I need to rewatch it. Yeah, I've watched it. It's fun. It's a fun show. Like, the problem is, how did I came across it? I always saw screenshots on my anime list a long time ago, very very long time ago, when AMVs were popular. Basically, this is just a shoujo show with ballet and a swan and a duck. I know. I won't watch it. Then I watched a AMV about it, and I was like, oh, it actually looks like a really decent drama show with ballet and ducks. I was like, I might as well just watch it. It seems interesting. So yeah, it is. It is quite interesting. I agree with Tori. I don't think it's an 8. I think it's more like a 6.5, 7. Nice show.
All right.
Like I said, it's different. It's different from most other shows. So at least if you're looking for something that you're not gonna find, X number of shows every season, then Princess Tutu's got you covered. There isn't really many other shows like it.
From the way it sounds, that's exactly right. All right, I guess I'll play the next drop and we can move on. I got the super classic drops going today. Astro Boy, Speed Racer. Doing it all.
Kind of weird. Okay. Should have gone more with the 90s vibe, in my opinion, but alright, you do you.
No, come on.
Oh,
that's crazy talk.
The 90s, early 2000s. Why would I say that? It's not like Pokemon was popular in the 90s and early 2000s, late 90s.
No.
Look,
2000s.
man, the enslavement of animals has been part of humanity's past for generations.
True.
Yeah.
We're still fighting to regularize animal fighting again.
Wow.
What? It is well, it's not that fun actually. Let's not.
Well, you don't say, Hickey.
I don't want to watch animals hurt each other. I just want to watch people punch the shit out of each other.
Oh, that is true. Well, that is already regularized.
Which is why everyone should be wrestling fans.
Someone in Brazil made a Tinder-like app just to street fighting. That was interesting. Like, they're developing it.
That sounds awesome.
That is not relevant.
Swipe right to kick his ass.
Yes, that is basically it. And it calculates the distance between you and the opponent, and and puts the middle point as a meet-up and a like just a time to meet up and just go brawling on each other. So like
Hickey, please.
That is not relevant anyway.
Please tell me, Hickey, please tell me that when you swipe right on somebody on this app, that they get that the guy who was swiped right gets a notification on his phone, and he opens his phone, and all that pops up is just a white glove smacking the the phone screen.
I don't know. I saw that on Twitter like a few days ago. The guy's like, if you guys want to download the beta version, it's already online. I was like, oh damn. Why?
And then you were like, hell yeah, get me in there.
Okay, like the funny thing is, it actually matches you with people with the same fighting experience. So if you don't have anything, you also just it won't be matched with like a black belt. So you know.
And before that fucks up and you end up fucking.
Because no one's ever lied about their skill level online about anything.
Look, man.
I have never fucking.
Street fighting. Aside using anything that is available around you to beat the living crap out of the other person, is quite honorable. So, you know.
Well, you know what? We have watched Bebop High School and reviewed that on this podcast before. So we do know the, what's the word? High level of respect in the world of street fighting there is.
Mm-hmm. But then somebody's always got to be pulling steel, and then...
well, you know, that's the danger you might have to run into.
Yeah, some people
especially when your Tinder profile says like 13-0, you're like, man, I think I gotta pull some steel on this guy.
13-0. That's an impressive streak you got there. Streak? No, that's just my age.
That was such a nice stage, and this episode is coming out really nice. I'm really enjoying it.
Good for you.
Yeah. Some people pull some people pull steel, other people pull a fucking truck.
Oh my god. Welcome to the street fight, bitch. Semi-truck coming your way.
Bebop High School. Very fun.
So, our topic here is really kind of like what we did with the Ghibli one, but we can kind of go into our history and our fandom and the whatnot of, well, Pokemon. So... the various games, the card game, the anime naturally. We'll keep our thoughts of the anime separate from how our like fandom and whatnot grew up with it. But I was the very much prime audience for Pokemon when it came out. I was 10 when Pokemon hit the United States of the Americas.
What year?
1998 is when Pokemon first came out.
So it was released at the end of 1997. But I think the card game possibly earlier than that?
Card game, I think, was 99. If I'm not mistaken. I didn't look that little tidbit up.
First game was released when? 1997?
I believe so, yeah. It was before the video game was before the anime was released, hence why like episode 1 starts off with the video game intro sequence from the Game Boy. So, yes. Yeah.
Oh man. I really like Pokemon. I need to buy a new cartridge so I can play. Since I have my Game Boy. I looked online, but it's way too expensive. And if I buy it, I don't want to open and play it. I just want to preserve.
Well, I still have my original red cartridge that I had growing up. My brother had the blue one, and I have his now as well, so I have both.
Haha. Take that.
Yeah. But yeah, I was definitely first exposed to the video game, and naturally it was a big hit at school. I believe I was in fifth grade. I think that's how it would work out. Yeah, whatever. We'll say 5th grade. And, of course, everybody on the, at the school and in the bus, there became, like, bands at school. No more Game Boys, no more Pokemon. Keep the cards away, naturally. If we see them, we're going to take them away. And then parents got mad because the teachers wouldn't give them back. Probably
Pokemon
to give their own children.
The devil, literally. It wasn't teaching people how to take drugs and become violent. I've seen the news reports.
Oh, there was a big blowback.
No, I know. There was a whole bunch of that. The fucking Pokemon teaches kids to believe in Satan and all that. It's fucking Jesus Christ. The late 90s, early 2000s, man. Those were some wild times.
Hey, look.
Well, I grew up in Texas. So you can imagine the religious evangelicals that were involved with a lot of that. So there were, I remember having one teacher in particular that was just so violently against anything Pokemon related, because that teacher themselves believed that it was causing mischief in the classroom. And I don't remember if Satan was ever said, but for the sake of comedy, we're going to go with that.
For the sake of comedy.
Yeah, we're definitely going to go with they believed Pokemon caused satanic rituals at school.
Yeah, here was more Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh! Came later.
Yeah. Well, like when I was at school, basically. Pokemon wasn't that targeted, except the games, because of Game Boy and stuff. But yeah, I mean, Japan didn't really, in the 90s, late 80s and early let me rephrase, early 2010s, didn't really help itself with, passing a good example of no, these things are not, causing violence, as weird codes just go around killing people with sarin gas and stuff. That, regardless. And, otaku guys just going around killing little people, like little kids, and eating their organs and stuff. Regardless, doesn't really matter. Yeah. Not very helpful anyway.
Yeah, so the original concept of Pokemon, the whole Monster Rancher thing, it was very addictive for kids. I being one of them, of course. Got to collect them all kind of deal. You wanted to find another friend in school that had the blue version, if you had the red, in my case, and then you would try to convince your parents, one of you, to get a link cable, so you could. So I don't know if kids know this today, but the original Game Boy had, think of it as a dual-end USB port.
Yeah.
And you would plug in this dual USB cord from one Game Boy to another, and then you would have to go to a Pokemon Center in the game, and that's how you would trade, say, your Diglett for a Dodrio. Doduo. That's how it would work. And then there were other Pokemon that you could only evolve through trading, which, now that I think about it, the anime never did. Just kind of interesting when you think about it. It's like, man, if I want to get my Pokemon to evolve, I have to give it to another person, and then they're just going to be like, nah, fuck you, it's mine now.
Yeah, that was a big risk. I had cable. I had the whole setup for the... Man, I really liked my Game Boy. It was actually... My family never let me play games. That's why I, even today, not a very fun, like not a big fan of games in general. I play them, but not so much, because growing up, I wasn't...
Only porn games.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you deprive your kids of actual video games. Then they
resort
to both porn and gaming.
True. I mean, I have a PC, so, that was the easiest way. Also, being interested in anime just it's just a natural progression. Regardless, but like the
Right,
Game Boy,
okay.
the Game Boy was kind of the first time my parents actually got me anything game related. So yeah, I remember like getting everything. Unfortunately, I lost everything. I need to buy a charging cable to the Game Boy as well. Although he still has battery. The last time I played it, it was more than 10 years ago. And it still has some charge in it, which is very impressive. Game Boy is really well made. So yeah, I remember like having the cable and fighting having endgame fightings on school. I had Pokemon Fighter Red when I played it, and one of my friends had Leaf Green, so we used the cable to better out my level 100 Blastoise, because fuck you, it was my last gameplay. I was with Squirtle, and he had a Charizard, but man, it was hard. Even though I had a water Pokemon, with level 100, it was such a hard task.
Tori, you've been awfully quiet on this end. What's going on here?
Well, you see, Pokemon came out here around the early 2000s, like I think literally year 2000. With the anime. The games, I'm not entirely sure when they started coming out there. I didn't play Pokemon until the first Pokemon game I owned was Ruby.
Oh wow,
Ruby.
that's way later.
Yeah. That is the only Pokemon game I've owned and the only Pokemon game I've really played. Well, okay, that's a lie. The Pokemon trading card game for the Game Boy Color is technically the first Pokemon game I've ever owned and played.
If you don't want the game, and if you don't want the cards, here's the card game.
I know, right? No, it was not a good game, and I didn't like it. So that's probably why I didn't get into the whole Pokemon game thing. I was just like, it's kind of lame though. So yeah, that was part of that. I didn't really play. Like I enjoyed the anime. I liked that as a kid. I watched it with friends. I remember because I owned, both me and one of my friends, we owned multiple of like the episodes on VHS, which, fun fact, I realized a couple days ago that the place here in Norway that distributed the original VHSs back in the early 2000s, they are still around, and they are still selling the original Pokemon episodes on VHS.
I saw you talking about this in the Discord chat.
Yeah, that's kind of impressive because I literally I just ended up spending probably easily half an hour to an hour on that site just going through the random VHSs and some DVDs and cassettes of different things they had there, and I'm just like, dude, this is literally my childhood all over again. I didn't
Please tell me that you looked up how much it would cost to get all the VHSs of Pokemon Indigo League.
They do not have all of them anymore. You see, the thing is, they are out of production. Shocking, I know.
Wait, you're telling me VHSs are out of production in 2020?
I know, right? I couldn't believe it either. So
we need to bring it back, just like vinyl.
So that means that for the most part, they don't have it. They have all of what was essentially called Series 1 here. Well, not all of it. They have a big part of what was considered Series 1 here in Norway, which is episodes 1 through 52.
Oh. That's almost all of them.
Yeah. So, but they don't have all of them. There is a couple missing, but they had a decent amount of them, which I was kind of surprised. I was almost tempted to buy one, even though I don't have a VHS player. But,
right. Just buy a VHS, please. Come on.
I could, but why would I? That's a waste of money.
I can't imagine they're more than $3.
Probably not, but why would I? I'm never gonna fucking use them. I don't watch VHS. Goddamn, VHS is terrible.
My God, you can get every Pokemon episode ever on Netflix currently.
Yes, and that's where I watch mine. But
me too.
Yeah, no, but that just I thought that was funny. But regardless, I watched a lot of the anime, and I also got into the Pokemon trading card game, the actual trading card game. So I remember buying Pokemon cards, and just every time we went to the store, I was just like, "Mom, get me some cards," and she was like, "No, It's a waste of money. And I'm like, but you don't understand how much it means to me. I want to beat my friend, which I never did. And you know why I never beat my friend? Because
he got all the cards.
No, because we didn't play by no fucking Pokemon rules. We made up our own rules. And by we made up our rules, I mean he made up his own rules.
He decided
what
you.
was... Yeah, he decided what was and wasn't allowed.
Some friend he is.
I know, right? So it's just like, no, you can't do that. But it says that I have more attack power. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. Okay? Because in this case, it's the defense that matters, or whatever the fuck. It's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Whatever, guys,
sure
whatever.
You just weren't aware of the full rules?
I did not know the rules whatsoever. At this point in time,
okay.
The problem was...
for all you know, he could be right this whole time.
I doubt it. I doubt it was some of the bullshit that he was pulling. But anyways, like the problem was that for a lot of the cards were written in English, and at this point, I did not speak English.
Oh,
I know there was a time when I didn't even understand a single word of English. And
I started speaking English because of Pokemon.
I started to speak. Anyway, that's a different story for a different time. But yeah, so the Pokemon cards, the original Pokemon series, and pretty quickly, early 2000s, my attention was dragged away from Pokemon when I started watching Digimon, and I realized how superior of a show that is. And Pokemon sucks.
The Idolmaster made a collaboration with the Digimon recently. It is very weird. Like
everybody knows Digimon is the better one. It even has the better games now. Now Pokemon is completely inferior.
Unfortunately, I don't remember when I started. I think it was 2004. I think it was a year after the release of Fire Red. And I'll never forget it. I think I was already studying English because my father thought it would be good for my future.
And boy, how wrong he was. You ended up on an anime podcast.
Right, and I became a lawyer.
70 episodes deep, almost 3 years later.
Yeah, and I became a lawyer, so like, there's honestly no need for me to talk or read in English whatsoever. Speaking German or French would actually help me a lot. But,
yes, come to my side.
Yeah, because most of Brazilian laws are based in French, or like French laws or German laws and Italian laws. So like, speaking English doesn't really help me in a lot of things. Regardless, I think I was already studying English. The thing is, although Nintendo at that point were producing consoles in Brazil, in the Amazon region, they weren't producing the games. Which means all the games were imported. Which means everything was in English. So I played Fire Red in English, which is good because I played that game for many years. That's why every time I played it, I understood a little bit more. That made me happy. Happy to study in English and happy to play Pokemon. Probably that's why I'm very attached to Pokemon even this day. Kind of a Stockholm Syndrome. That was the only game I owned. I remember like when I first bought the game, the cartridge, which you new kids don't know what it is. It's just a piece of plastic with a chip inside with a game.
Well, I mean, the Switch and its little SD card cartridges are a harping back to that era.
Yeah, I mean, technically a cartridge. Not inside. The insides are different, but regardless. The game came with the cartridge came with a problem. The game wouldn't save. So, like, the problem is, like, and it was a really big problem because I bought the Fire Red since that time there was already internet, but not that much. I asked, like, people to search for me. Diskettes were still a thing, that way. It's a weird period in time. Hold on. Where our kind of technological sense of things matches, at least me and JD. So what happened was I asked people to search for me, what was like kind of the first Pokemon. And then I discovered that the Fire Red, Leaf Green, and the other blue one were kind of a remake of the original ones. So I bought those for Pokemon for Game Boy SP, which is the one I had.
Okay,
then
I follow you.
Yeah, then the problem was everything was important, and that was the only cartridge of Pokemon Fire Red in the store. The store already closed, by the way, nowadays. It was in the shopping mall near to my house. Then, but the problem is that the cartridge was damaged. So the game wasn't saving. I couldn't just go there and exchange it. I needed my family. My family didn't want me playing games. So they weren't, like, they didn't like the idea of going back at a gaming store to change the cartridge. So for me to change the cartridge, it took a week for me to go to the store. And then the guy said, well, that we need to wait new cartridge to be imported. So that took like almost a month.
Oh, back in those days, let me tell you.
Yeah. And because of that, I couldn't save the game. So what I did was I secretly, even though now that I think about it, it probably wasn't that much of a secret. I just let the Game Boy on power and turned on and beat the game in a week.
So
noise.
Then I changed the. Okay. Privacy. It doesn't exist. Then let me see. Then I exchanged the cartridge and beat the game. After that, I played Pokemon Gold, since the cartridge between Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Advanced were interchangeable. Well, at least the Color with the Advanced, not the Advanced with the Color. So I played Gold because my friend had it, and Yellow. After that, I kind of just played with emulators. Then the DS came in, and I didn't have money to buy it. So I kind of started playing Pokemon. Almost bought a Switch. Almost bought a Switch just to play the new Pokemon. By the way, that's how attached I am. When it comes to the card game, I think it was the same as Tori. Like, please buy, like, they started releasing these cards. Looks like they look really nice. Could you buy some for me? No, it's a waste of money, and we need to eat. It's our main priority now is to get a food source. So I never kind of.
Come on, the old argument is, come on, we can live 3 weeks without food. Just buy me these cards.
Yes, of course.
I remember since my father always hoped I would get a very good education, I went to rich people's schools, even though I'm not rich and never was. Because of that, I think because of that, like that my father made that decision, we actually had a lot of difficulty we shouldn't have. If I was in a not so good school, but it's still, decent, my life would be easier. But since my father said, no, you need a good education, and I'll just pay this extremely expensive school for you, we went through a lot of difficulties just for dumb decisions.
Imagine having to pay for your education.
I know, right, Tori? Crazy.
Yeah.
He should have just left his country and went to one that is free, like I did.
Oh yeah, like me with 7 years old. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to Portugal. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm going to Portugal, where I will kind of understand what they're saying, and maybe once I'm there, I can get Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
But the long game.
Yeah, the thing was like, the kids were rich. So they had all the Pokemon. There was this one kid who had every single Pokemon card for the first generation of cards.
Oh my god!
I was like, damn.
Oh, dude, the kids would bring binders of the cards that they had to school.
That's right, the binders thing. I was like, damn.
We brought those, like, the fucking the boxes you got. The fucking you could buy like a box full of sleeves. We always brought those. I remember mine was so fucking full. I didn't want to buy a new one. I just had one that was like fucking just massive. Those were the times. Those were the times.
So, I had a decent amount of cards, but they weren't like anything rare. I didn't have any of the holographic ones or anything. But of course, a lot of the richer kids would. But when it came to the game, it's like no one actually ever played it. You just collected them and showed them off. Hey, I got this one now. Hey, I got this one now. Hey, you want to trade? But no one ever actually wanted to trade.
That's kind of weird, right? Because I remember, like, I played pretty much all of the, like, we played, in my school, we used to play a lot of, like, Duel Master whenever that came out. Early 2000s still, but a little bit later. And that was the big, card fighting game we did, like, just sitting there fucking actually battling each other. But Pokemon was kind of just like, I have this one. Yeah, well, I have that one. Aw. Want to trade? No. What if I give you these 3? Okay, fine. You win.
I'll see. No one would ever trade.
Yeah. There was a lot of gamble of Pokemon cards, and any card game there would be like gambling of it. At least when I was in school. So I got some Pokemon cards. The same with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I actually my Yu-Gi-Oh deck were all I conquered it by asking one card for free and just winning gambles over it. Same thing with Pokemon. I played it once when I was like already 19 years old, because one of my friends who now lives in London, but anyway, he had a bunch of cards. He was one of the rich kids, and he actually, preserved the cards. So we played a Pokemon game with the cards he had. It was very fun. Unfortunately, I didn't have the chance when I was a kid, so it wasn't very interesting when I was 19 and kind of drunk.
I don't know, that sounds way more interesting to me.
No,
you need to think, actually.
Nah.
Cut to me in college in Michigan, not Germany. And I was living in a house with 4 other guys. And 2 of us, I don't know how this came up, but I think a couple of us had a 3DS. No, I didn't have a 3DS yet. Something came up, and we all, or the 3 of us, went to Walmart, and we're walking through, and then we see whatever the generation of Pokemon was going around at the time, and we saw those boxes, Tori, but they weren't the huge boxes, the $20, $30 ones. This was like the 10, 15, where it's essentially you have a deck. So we each actually bought this small deck so we could actually play the game, and we each bought a different one, and then for about a month we would incorporate a drinking game into the Pokemon game. So like you would assign a card, a drink that you'd have to kind of throw down or whatever it might be. The rules were all over the place, even as one would imagine. And I still have that deck to this day from college. It's pretty funny.
Don't say stuff like that. That makes me sad because fucking like quite a few years ago, I was forced to clean out my room, and then it was like anything that you're not expressly gonna be using, that's just gonna be given away. So I had to give away all my Pokemon cards, all my Duel Master cards, my fucking giant binder, all of that stuff just given away. I'm so sad.
Oh. No, the key is you don't give it away. You should have thought of that.
No, but I couldn't. I had to clean it. Like she wanted me to get rid of everything, basically like everything that lasted from when I was a kid. That was gone. Like, are you not using this? No. Okay, fair enough. Right in the bag. Like, aw.
That's too bad.
Aw. Yeah.
Should have said that word no.
Yeah, sure. Let me just go ahead and fucking tell them. Yeah, no, you don't get to throw my stuff out.
Yeah.
It's her house.
Well,
her
I mean, move out.
I would. Imagine if I could afford that. Imagine if I had a job. Imagine if I could get a job. Imagine if I applied somewhere and they said yes for once.
See. Should have thought of that then.
I did.
I think about it every single day.
I do.
Imagine when you have to start paying your own bills, guys.
I'm
kind of looking forward to it at this point.
I think I needed to declare my earnings to the government, but I didn't. So anyway,
that's a problem.
And I think I just.
It's okay. I'm sure tax evasion is not illegal in any way.
Yeah, I just realized that I confessed doing tax evasion. That's okay. That's fine.
Hickey, you're a lawyer. You can't be doing this.
No, that's okay. It will be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. My government will forgive me.
Just as long as no government official in Brazil listens to this. Wait a minute.
Meanwhile, the president of Brazil is just like, yo, the fuck?
Okay, so the card game was really fun, but we've talked about that ad nauseum. I watched the anime, probably at least an episode or two a day. I know I watched it every Saturday morning before I'd go to bowling league. Yep. So I was every morning. There was always at least, I think there was a whole hour and a half block. So it'd play 3 episodes. I believe it was the WB channel or UPN or something. Basic cable, basically. And so I do that. So I remember, I think all the Pokemon episodes that were out at the time was up through the Orange Islands.
Yes. The
That's where
second
my
season
memory stops. I think that's the 3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who cares?
That's
way
past
the character
like
care.
May and whatever came into play, and that's kind of where I stopped.
Yeah.
I know my brother kept watching, but I was definitely more interested in sleeping, and my Saturday morning league stopped because I had other sports to do. Anyways,
that is just basically that I appreciate. I also had way more interest sleeping because I remember every Saturday morning there was Pokemon on the TV. That was it was on the part of the children programming block on not even on cable. That was just on regular TV.
Mm-hmm.
So really great there. There was just one problem. Started 6 in the morning on Saturdays.
Oh yeah, that's not going to happen. No.
So I would for years just get up at like 6 in the morning just to watch that every Saturday. And as I got older and lost more and more energy, got more and more tired, I just at a certain point I got to that point where Pokemon just wasn't as interesting anymore. I was just like, I'm not waking up at 6 in the morning just to watch some fucking stupid children's show. I will, now once I stop, I will never again watch cartoons, I said triumphantly.
And here we are. 3 years later.
Rewatching it many, many years later. 3 years later. Let's see. My favorite Pokemon game is probably Gold?
Gold is really nice. I really enjoyed Pokemon Yellow.
Nah, fuck Pikachu.
I mean, not much for Pikachu, but the story, the beginning of it. The story doesn't change much, but I don't know. Really, I remember having a really good time, even though I started with Fighter Red, which had really good graphics. For the time at least, for Pokemon standards. Yellow was such a downgrade, but I really, really enjoyed it.
I think my least favorite game is probably Pokemon Black. I think it took... Excuse me?
Oh, you played that, huh?
I unfortunately have played it and was really not into it. It's it's like playing a Pokemon randomizer. And
that sounds fun.
Well, you'd think, but the problem is that, like, let's say you go to the first gym battle, and you go, oh, it's weak to that. You go to, like, the patch of grass right next to it. Oh, there's the Pokemon you need to catch to beat him. Problem solved.
Right.
Like, there's no challenge to that game. And because the Pokemon are so randomized, you always have the strength over the weakness wherever you might be in that game. So I lost interest in that particular one extremely fast. While the others, yeah, they're more grindy, but I think the Pokemon themselves were laid out a little bit better. Like, you don't get a water... Like, if you don't start with a water Pokemon, you don't get a water Pokemon until way later. Game-wise. And then, thinking about how... I mean, we had a similar conversation when Sword and Shield came out. How... Just think about how much the Pokemon games have not changed since the inception.
I mean, we talked about it.
They included MMORPG.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't on like a podcast, but we had an extensive conversation about how to improve a Pokemon game, and basically it was.
Yeah, I mean, their big innovative idea is let's make them.
I mean, I think the biggest
anymore.
I mean, the biggest downgrade is the villains, which is just a bunch of lolicons cheering the lolly. But they added a bunch of kind of verticality, what I call, to the game. You can customize the character. You can customize many things. You have camps. You can play with Pokemons. Kind of already mechanics from other games. They just put in this one. Also, there's Mystery Dungeon, by the way. I think a new Mystery Dungeon is releasing. That game is really fun.
It is a remaster of the 2005 game. Just came out. It got bad reviews, by the way.
And there's why I'm saying Digimon has finally surpassed Pokemon in every way. Now it also has the superior games.
But yeah, I mean, they added. I don't think did they add side quests to the new Pokemon game?
Not really.
Also got
the only thing I've heard about side quests is I know there are side quests in the more recent Pokemon games that just doesn't go anywhere.
I guess Gigantamax, the Digimax, is its version of side story. There's always been a side story in the Pokemon games, however you want to spin it, with the ancient legend collecting things. I mean, that's been there since the first one, Fire Blue. Or Fire Blue.
Fire Blue,
Red Blue.
yes.
Yeah, Fire Blue. Where, you can catch the 3 ancient birds and then go from there. I've never had an interest in doing the Pokemon League. I don't know why. Like, I get the 8th badge, and by the time I get the 8th badge in every game, I go, you know what? I'm done. I got all the badges. I'm good. I'm good. I've only ever done the Pokemon League twice, and that was the original, and then
I've
Gold.
done in every game multiple times. Because the first time I try hard, the sweaty way. Then I go like without revivals, then with only one type of Pokemon, only one Pokemon, and go like trying to win against like the strongest in the game, using like, I don't know, some dumb tactic like March Gap, level 100 March Gap.
It's funny you bring that up. I brought Pokemon, I think it's Soul Silver. When I was working offshore on oil rigs, I brought Soul Silver off there, and I think this is right. If I'm wrong, just feel free to correct. But in Soul Silver, there's only like 7 grass Pokemon in the entire game, and a couple of them you have to go through a special evolution process. Like Blossom, you have to go to a gambling ring and just happen upon the seed that you need to evolve the Blossom in 2 different ways. So, I tried beating that entire game with only those 7 Pokemon. I didn't catch any other, and it's a glaring, I guess, negative aspect of what that particular Pokemon game is how it really neglected a bunch of different types and really left out a variety in that game is quite funny. It's like, why are you playing it that way? It's like, I don't know. I didn't get it. I definitely did not beat the Pokemon League that way.
Yeah.
So
There's always like that.
My favorite Pokemon of all time, besides just grass Pokemon in general, is Sandshrew, Sandslash. That's mine. Yeah. You can't really find a plushie unless someone basically custom makes it for you.
I wonder why.
Well, then fucking go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
You wonder why? It's because not very many people think of Sandslash as, oh man, gotta have that one. You would think the Geology. I know. I do have an affinity for the Geodude, Golem, Graveler evolution line. That's the Geologist. Gotta love that one. So
nah, it's pretty lame.
I think that speaks for itself. How about you guys?
Yes.
I always like the Butterfree just because of those episodes from fucking Pokemon series.
Butterfree.
Yeah. Like I said, I had no interest in the game, so I didn't know much about anything. But it was also because it's from the series. It's just with most of the Pokemon, even a lot of Ash's Pokemon, it's kind of just like, okay, you pick them up. Like this is the episode they had, then you pick them up, and now they're with you. Like whatever. But the whole Caterpie, the Metapod, the Butterfree, that was
whatever.
Yeah, that was one of the few times in the Pokemon series where I watched where they actually decided to fucking have some sort of story in regards to that Pokemon through multiple episodes. So because of that, I'm just like sitting there, I'm like, dude, man, my boy Butterfree saved that girl, got laid, probably had kids. Yeah, fuck yeah, you go. You're a badass. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
I mean,
Tori likes Butterfree. How about that?
my favorite Pokemon, probably Ditto. I really like him.
Ditto. I like how you pronounced it a lot more than the actual Pokemon.
Yeah.
Ditto.
I mean, it's that, isn't it?
Ditto.
Really? Okay. Anyway, I'll keep pronouncing my way.
I like your way better, Ditto.
Because like, I don't know, I really like the transformation power. So after I beat Fire Red, I just I picked him and tried to get to every trainer I ignored in my way to the league, to the Pokemon League, beat them with Ditto. Just using transformation and beating them with their own Pokemon, but with a strange face.
That's a power move.
One of the.
You know what? Now that you mention it, I do have an affinity for Mr. Mime because he's the most freaky, just batshit crazy Pokemon in that first generation. You go, why does this exist? Who was on crack or acid when they made this thing?
On his Pokédex entry and look the kind of the description of what it is. He's just a guy. He's not even a Pokemon.
He's just a dude.
Apparently, he's not even a Pokemon. He's just a mimic. Yeah, at some point he gained like psychic powers and became a Pokemon, but he was just a mimic. Something like that.
But I do remember vividly how I did beat the first Pokemon League. That was with Mr. Mime, just using Reflect and Substitute constantly. That's all I did. Mr. Mime was the best.
Lame.
Now, that being said, I would never get a Mr. Mime plushie because that thing would freak me out. Just imagine you wake up in the middle of the night, it has one of those voice box things, and he just goes, Mr. Mime! Ah! Get out of here, it!
No!
Pennywise, get the fuck out of here!
Go back and fuck Ash's mom! No!
Oh no. Oh no. Back to Pokemon porn.
The amount of doujinshi there is. Oh, God. Especially Professor Oak, because that guy just power moves.
Imagine being Ash's mom, huh? You're fucking switching between Professor Oak and Mr. Mime. All while Ash's dad is gone.
Oh no. The images. Okay. I guess I'll play a drop. We can get this podcast rolling as I play another drop from the, I guess, 60s.
Why?
Yeah. Well, why wouldn't I play all those drops from the 60s that I have? I gotta get more. I gotta get a drop.
Because it doesn't make any sense. It's not
Of course, it makes all the sense in the world, Tori.
Oh, JD.
Don't stifle my creativity for this
the
podcast.
60s,
Don't make me quit the podcast again.
60s were a simpler time where animal abuse was simply to get behind, and I think animal fighting was actually illegal in many places.
They wouldn't do things of implying that they're enslaving animals and making them fight to the death. They would just kill them with the samurai sword, or run them over with a car, or feed them to Debru Man. Okay?
Pokemon,
Simpler
attack! Time. I said attack! Fucking, I'm gonna choke you.
Alright, so, review time! Pokemon! Specifically the Indigo League.
25 episodes of the Indigo League, because...
26 episodes, technically.
1 through 82 episodes, or in the USA, 1 through 77, because some were deemed inappropriate or would cause seizures.
That was only one.
Yeah. Studio OLM, in which we've actually reviewed 2 other shows from the studio, Berserk and Gunsmith Cats.
Yeah, never heard of them.
Yeah, me neither. Director Masamitsu Hidaka.
My boy.
Well known. He's basically just done Pokemon. So
exactly.
I mean, he's very famous.
He is well known.
The original release of the Pokemon Animu was spring 1997. In Tori's case, it was in the 2000s. In my case, it was 98. Yeah, I don't know if your case, Hickey.
I'll have to look it up.
99?
Because I was, like, when it released, I was probably very young.
Oh, come on. I remember watching Scooby-Doo and Looney Tunes, and
Same.
Those didn't release in 1991.
No, but they sure were still on TV.
They were still on TV, rolling through.
They are probably still on TV here, actually.
Well, a variation of them, anyways. Pokemon's still ongoing with its current generation.
Pokemon is not still on TV here.
Ah.
As a matter of fact, there is no anime currently on TV in Norway.
Oh, bummer.
Yep. They used to air Yokai Watch for a while, but other than that, nothing.
Let's see.
So, summary from Anime Planet. In a world where creatures known as Pokemon roam, and would-be trainers capture and battle the beasts, the young Ash Ketchum can't be happier. He has finally reached the age when he can have his very first Pokemon. Along with the electrical Pikachu and human buddies, okay, that threw me off. Brock and Misty, Ash must embark on a journey to battle countless others and become the best Pokemon trainer of them all. From the Johto region to the Orange Islands, there's plenty of Pokemon to catch and adventures to find, even if the infamous Team Rocket stands in the way. There you go. Makes it sound more diabolical. You put it that way.
I don't know, it made it sound like you were fucking introducing a wrestler.
Well, I mean, I could do a Michael Buffer, and in this corner on his way to the ring, standing at a 4'2", 10 years old, he's about to embark on his own journey with no training and no knowledge of the outside world. Ash
No
Ketchum.
knowledge of anything, really.
No!
How the hell has it always been his dream to be a Pokemon trainer, and
yet he has no idea. Just zero. Nothing. What is this Pokemon that's existed outside my town for 10 years?
The only thing he knows is, he knows, at least in the Norwegian version, he does know a lot of Pokemon by name before he checks them out. So it's like, oh, that's a Pidgey, but it's like, that's about it.
But what is a Pidgey? What does it do? Oh, that was a tornado attack.
It's actually just a pigeon.
I love how in the early episodes the fucking the Pokédex
it was
is literally
1999.
just making fun of Ash the entire time.
Dude, it's Siri. It's Siri just talking shit to him the whole time.
Yep.
What was that? Ash, that was a gust attack. You should probably not be around that. It also has a sand attack. So I watched
Rattata comes out to steal from dumb trainers. What do you mean, dumb trainers? Hey!
Does that mean I'm dumb? And there's Pikachu just cackling away in the tree. Yeah, it does. I watched a mishmash of episodes. It really just jogged my memory. And I watched them all. I watched the first couple episodes in the English dub, and then awesomely on Netflix, you can just switch between a bunch of languages, and of course German was there. So I watched the rest of the mishmash in German, and so I kind of picked like an episode list of going down like nostalgia lane. And what do you mean can't hear?
No,
Hickey
I'm
can't
back.
hear?
My PC had a hiccup and I disconnected, but I'm back. I was talking about how Pokemon
right,
was first shown in Brazil in 1999.
Oh, I was right with the 99. How about that, Tori? Am I good or what?
No.
Anyways, so I probably watched about 20 episodes in total for the podcast. I watched, I watched the Butterfree one. I watched the beginning. I watched all the gym battles. I watched him just get pwned in the Pokemon League, which, by the way, is only 7 episodes. That's the big climactic moment. Is he finally gets all the badges, and it's like 2 hours of Ash just proving how incompetent he is, and really puts in perspective, how are these guys in charge of giving badges to all these trainers?
I mean, I've watched about it, so
I mean, I want to know what are actually the criteria for getting badges? Because most of the Pokemon trainers, they don't even do anything. They don't give you they don't give out the.
All right, guys, you guys are talking over each other. Real bad.
I realized that. But yeah, the point was like the trainers don't even don't lose. Hickey, why do you keep talking when I try to talk?
Hickey, are you all right there? You having a stroke?
No,
a seizure?
I can hear you.
I don't think
he
is.
Hear Tori.
Okay, good.
So I don't know if he's talking. Hold on. Let me just. Hold on.
Can you not hear me? Oh, great.
Tori, I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
Don't worry. It is definitely on him.
Okay. I have been here the entire time. It is literally just
sorry.
you. Like I kept trying to talk, and you kept trying to talk over me, and I'm like,
sorry,
what's happening here?
For some reason, like when it disconnects, you cannot hear anyone. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to disconnect and come back. JD started talking. I'm like, everything is fine. JD is talking. That means everything is okay. And you weren't talking. I was like, okay, I'm just keep talking then. And so it's like JD's like, are you okay? Why do you guys keep talking over each other? I was like, Tori isn't talking. What are you talking about? I was like, yeah. Oh, hold on, something is wrong.
You're high, JD. He isn't talking at all.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no. Anyways, the point I was trying to make was like, what are actually like the qualifications for getting a badge? Because I mean, Ash doesn't even. Very rarely does he actually get a badge for winning.
That is exactly what I was
badge. The closest badge he was to getting from winning was the fucking water badge, in which Team Rocket fucking.
I don't know.
Interrupted. Other than that,
like technically, because he was like, no, I didn't win. Like the match was interrupted, and they're like, nah, poor friendship. You saved us. You deserve it.
Doesn't matter. It's like we honestly. Fucking there aren't many of those trainers that seem particularly interested in even being a trainer or being responsible for handing out badges. I think most of them are just like, I really don't want to do this. Also, what the fuck happens to Pewter City Gym now that Brock is gone?
His father is the gym leader.
I guess.
It's like,
still.
Brock, I came back after 20 years. I'm your father. It's like, okay, cool.
I am your father.
Oh, cool. You've been living just next door to us this entire time and didn't say anything.
And they did that again.
There's times in the Pokemon anime where there's a moniker of an emotional story taking place. Right?
No.
The Butterfree, the arc of catching Caterpie and getting it to evolve, and then the Butterfree and setting it free part. That's great. It just happens so fast. And it's like his first Pokemon he ever truly caught. Well, I guess it kind of just... Yeah. And he just lets it go, and that's kind of a theme with Ash. He like eventually he just lets him run wild again.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I realized that the number of Pokemon Gary got changed. I don't know if that was only the Brazilian version, because like in episode 10, I believe Professor Oak is like, "Oh yeah, Gary already has 45 Pokemon," and Ash is like, "Oh damn, I have 6." And then episode 20 or 21, Professor Oak is like, "Oh, you're lagging behind. You only have 4 badges. Gary have 5. It has captured 30 Pokemon." I was like, "Well, hold on."
Well, I mean, for all you know, he could have been like Ash and just setting him free.
I guess.
I don't think so. I think in my version, he always has more Pokemon whenever Oak talks to Ash. But I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention to that.
Yeah.
I can't say that for 100% certainty. But it is kind of funny though. It's like always the whole like, oh, you're lagging behind. But I mean, to be fair, he really isn't lagging that far behind. Pokemon captured, sure. But like, I would be more disappointed in the fact that like that fucking Gary only has 5 badges with as many Pokemon as he has caught. Like, really? Maybe you should spend less time catching Pokemon and more time actually getting those badges.
Yeah, that is true. Like the story arcs being so short, like really puts in perspective how bad of an attention span you have as a kid. Because every single time a story arc started, and those 25 episodes, which there were a bunch of story arcs, I was like, oh, I remember this story arc. It took so long, like 20 episodes, like 3 episodes later, done. Like, oh, I guess.
Well, to be fair, you'd watch them over the course of like a month.
True. But, yeah,
it doesn't matter.
But it's still.
So it felt a lot longer.
I don't know. It felt way longer than,
Well, I know what you're saying, because when I watched the Pokemon League, I had a memory that this shit lasted for months, right? And then when I think about it, I'm like, 7 episodes. That would be months, because you're only watching this once a week as a kid. It's kind of like the Dragon Ball Z thing. Man, that thing took like a year. It was like 6 episodes in a row.
Yeah. But I still think like the attention span plays a huge role in it. Especially because like you start to mix episodes, especially because you're watching on television, so sometimes you skip an episode, sometimes they just re-air an episode, so
Oh, I hated that whenever that would happen. I wake up early on Saturdays and then I go down and then it's literally the same episode as last week. It's like, why?
In case you missed it, bah.
No.
Anyways, this started, I watched the first episode twice, actually. Once in English, once in German, just to, like, see the difference in how the English and German dub are next to each other. And the German isn't so much way radically different. It's just the voices really throw me off, because in the world I live in the United States, I don't hear a lot of German all the time, except like the 2 other guys and the Polish guy who knows German at work, right? Like, that's my extensive exposure to the German language these days. So hearing what to me sounded like a 20-year-old voicing Ash was very strange. And then Misty, I swear, was also voiced by a dude.
Oh yeah, please tell me they had only male voice actors. That's
so I'm actually thinking, like, in my head, I'm like, did they get like 5 dudes and try to make them sound like 30 different characters?
Yes.
And that's what it came across like in the German dub, which wouldn't shock me by any means. And so, but the how everything translated, it was very much extremely similar to each other. There wasn't like a whole lot of wordage that varied. It was very much the same, so no complaints there. Now the logic behind how they're trying to get you, the viewer, to understand the world of Pokemon through Ash, but the point of making Ash have no knowledge of anything is Like, in this retro watch here, that is what... Because I haven't watched fucking Pokemon in, like, 20 years. I mean, come on.
No, the same. Like, the Western Pokemon is basically based on the 4Kids Pokemon from the United States, so it doesn't really change much from place to place, except the language. But the Brazilian version, there's a few key differences. One being the narrator. And the narrator, for some reason, is very useless.
Oh, there was no narrator in German.
No narrator?
What?
The German dub. There was no narrator.
Really? That's
yeah,
interesting.
and like the first
That's a weird
episode is like, I'm Ash, and the narrator just cuts in as dry as he can. Ash is a 10-year-old boy. It's like, oh, thanks, narrator. And he's like,
you know what? Let me, as you guys talk, I'm actually gonna pull this up.
okay.
Now I'm not too
and he's
sure.
like, oh, no, I'm gonna be a Pokemon master. Ash gonna be a Pokemon master by getting his first Pokemon by Professor Oak. Is like, hold on, no. You didn't show Professor Oak yet. Why are you telling me who is Professor Oak? Like, why is this relevant? Oh man, and yeah, the narrator was extremely dry, except when he sang the outro, and you know, every character was very angry and very sassy for some reason. So they were just at each other's throat. Of course, that is the kind of the main joke of the series, at least at the beginning. But they were using words not suitable for children, not even as insults for children, like calling each other disgusting and trash and garbage and shitty.
I don't know. I used to say that a lot.
Yeah,
when I was
but
a
like
kid.
in a kid show, it's not.
Oh, there is a narrator. I just totally
Is
missed
it dry as well?
How the hell do you miss him?
Like the narrator in the Brazilian version doesn't know how to act, and so he's very dry. Even though like when it's like, oh, where are our heroes? They're lost, and why not? He's just extremely dry. Like, oh no, how could this happen? They are lost. I'm like, okay, narrator,
Wow.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah,
so
it is.
bad. The
Ich bin ein
Norwegian,
Pokemon Master sein.
the Norwegian narrator, I mean, it's kind of sad. Like, he's not really acting, which in my opinion is a little bit nice because the Norwegian dub is not particularly good. I will say though, I do think the voice actors in the show and the Norwegian one does get better over time, but it really does sound like when they started out they were pretty new to this whole acting
God,
thing.
I don't remember
So,
the narrator at all.
yeah, but he's pretty okay because he doesn't try to put on any funny voice. He just tries to like explain stuff, and he's still pulling some jokes here and there, and kind of just he's not like super.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. He's not really out there, but he's a nice little just addition to all the other ones because the Norwegian dub it's oh boy. So Ash is obviously voiced by, kind of similar to JD's German. Ash is voiced by like a 20-year-old man, something like that. So
yeah, and he just kind of puts on a raspier voice.
He doesn't put on a raspy voice. He tries to put on like a more high pitched voice, but it's not a kid's voice.
Oh,
It's
really?
kind of
Because
just
the
like
German one's kind of raspy and I guess a little high pitched to make him sound younger. But
but no, like that's like he's just kind of weird, and I think like that pretty much goes for anyone. Nobody sounds like a kid in this show, no matter how much of a kid they are. Nobody sounds like a kid. It just kind of depends on what they felt like going with in the voice acting, and I still to this day will always say that probably in the Norwegian one, Jesse, James, and fucking Meowth probably had the best voice actors because they had to do the most silly shit, and particularly Meowth. Meowth is a
sure, yeah,
interesting. So they probably did the best job. Brock sounds kinda. He doesn't sound as silly as I would have thought, especially when he starts getting his whole like, "Oh, I love girls" thing. The fucking,
right? His sexual assaultness.
Yeah, when he starts becoming a perverted old man, he's kind of just like he still kind of plays it very straight. Oh, I am so in love with you, I cannot live without you. It's like, was that supposed to be convincing? I guess not. But
a little bit more emotion behind his words in German.
Yeah, there was not a lot of emotions. It sounds to me like he was concentrating so much on doing like the weird like higher pitch-ish Brock voice that he just kind of neglected all form of emotion.
Damn.
It was just like, this is what he sounds like. I can only do this voice when I talk like this. Don't make me try to do emotion as well. I can't do it.
The Brazilian dub is actually very nice. It's actually very good. The problem is it feels like it was recorded in the living room. The quality is not that good, but
probably was.
It probably was. But the dub itself, I honestly don't have any complaint. Might be just like, favoritism bias showing, but my only complaint was honestly in how they translated some stuff. Like I said, using some words not suitable for a show, like a kid show, like Gorapi, like when Ash gets Gorapi and Misty doesn't like him, and she's like, this thing is such a disgusting looking piece of shit. And Ash is like, don't talk bad about Gorapi. He's beautiful. You know who's disgusting and a piece of trash? It is you. I'm like, damn, Ash, chill, my man.
Well, come on. He was insulted with his first ever Pokemon.
The wording, and then like whenever he goes to capture PG, he's like, PG, you better enjoy your last seconds of freedom because you're gonna be mine. Like, oh, dude, chill, Then he captures PG.
You know what? Now that you mention it, a lot of the wordage they use, they don't realize kind of the weight behind their words. I'll give an example of one that always stuck out to me, and it's the random trainer he comes across that has a Sandshrew, and he has the Sandshrew wear a weight belt and jump into a pool of water so he could overcome his weakness, but that's like me throwing my cat into a swimming pool over and over and over again, going, eventually you're gonna like it.
I mean, at that point, he had already gotten used to it. But, I don't know, like, the thing I found it funny, right? Because in the, I think they kind of nailed, like, the time period in the Norwegian dub, because the insults they use, because there are a lot of insults, but it really just feels like, it really just sounds like typical, like, oh yeah, this is some 90s kids language right here. Like, it's kind of like these, like, funny, like, they're meant to be mean insults, but whenever you hear them now, it's just like, you just start laughing because it's like, that's not an insult. It's like, I mean, it makes sense. They speak as if they're kids from the 90s, which, they are.
Yeah, no.
They really are,
version
yeah.
is a little bit, like, they could have used the 90s kid insults, but they didn't. Also, there's some...
Would have been better if they just would have gone full out with it, like, you fucking piece of shit.
There's some translation problems. I mentioned that. Like, you have PG, and then Ash doesn't get the PG, he gets the Pidgeotto, which is the evolution, like the evolution version of PG. When he pulls a Pokédex and look at Pidgeotto, the Pokédex says, oh, Pidgeotto is the evolved version of a pigeon. And I'm like...
Dude, the Pokédex, it starts out like so descriptive, and then it just gets more and more lazy as the time goes on.
Really?
Like you said, with the Spearow, like but
the problem is not like being lazy. The problem is like it's not the evolution of a Pigeon; it's the evolution of PG. So,
the translation.
So like it's very jarring because it's like it's a more powerful version of a pigeon. And I was like, hold on, that's not correct.
It is a pigeon.
Yeah,
it's just not called that.
I think what drew me off a little bit. This happens with all the Pokemon games, is learning all the Pokemon in the different language and what they're called. From what I'm familiar with, I'm sure you guys went through something kind of similar, but like Charmander is Blaumander, which is like blue in German. Yeah.
Oh, they changed the name?
Yeah.
No, in my experience, that has never been a problem. The only time I've had a problem with that was when I tried watching Pokemon in Japanese, because that is fuck that. Those names are wrong. I don't care if they're the original names; they're wrong. Like, Japanese... But the Norwegian names are completely similar to the English ones or the American ones. Yeah. They didn't change anyone.
Brazil as well. Like it changes the pronunciation basically. For example, Pidgeotto, I think in English, because it's the T, but in Brazil because it's double T, and we have a bunch of Italians, it's Pidgeotto with a strong T, and Tito and things like that. But I've watched some Japanese streamers.
I'll pull up a list
I pulled some Japanese streamers. I pulled. Goddamn it, Judy! I've watched some Japanese streamers streaming the newer Pokemon, and I was like, yeah, I don't recognize anything.
I was hearing it wrong. I kept hearing Blaumander. It's Glumanda. So it was the voice I couldn't. So Bulbasaur is Bizazam. Squirtle is Shiggy.
Maybe.
Caterpie is Raupi.
Maybe it's closer to the Japanese one.
Butterfree Smetbo.
I don't think so. I don't think it is.
Pidgey is Taubsy.
JD,
Spearo's Habitat.
JD, in the German version, do they change the intro text and whatnot to be German as well?
No, that's all in English.
Yeah, I find that so fucking hilarious, because that's everything, like the terrible fan subby, when they just add text and to explain what a sign is or something. That is all over the original Pokemon for me. Nothing is translated into, it's just they just slap some fucking poorly fucking coded in text into the video.
Yeah, it was just the voice acting was changed in German.
Yeah. No, I think
I like that.
Oof, I don't know. I know that in the Squirrel Gang episode, you have the little subtitles to what they're saying, and the Brazilian version had subtitles in Portuguese, but they didn't get the English subtitles out because they got the VHS from the United States, and apparently it was very hard to take it off. So you have double subtitles in English, in Japanese, in English, and then the Brazilian.
So in German, and I totally forgot about this joke, but in Geodude is Kleinstein in German, which means small stone. Graveler is Georock.
Aww.
And Golem is Geovaz.
No, I hate the German. Now, here, this is important. We need to get this out.
There are a lot of similar names.
JD, you can take this after. This is important. This needs to be figured out. What, in your version, JD, German for you, Brazilian for Hickey, what was rice balls in your version?
Mine was rice cookies filled with jam. So it was a weird mix between the American version and the Japanese version.
I think it was just rice bällchen or something, which is literally just rice balls. All
right, that's cool.
I think so. But I know I was watching the 4Kids version, so they actually changed them into sandwiches. So they were. Yeah. I was looking at a sandwich on the screen, but they were calling them rice balls in German.
Okay, they actually kept sandwiches for mine, but yeah, no, in mine we got two different ones. There are more than one. There's no rice balls. The first one was a cream top, which I guess that makes sense. It is white after all, so I can understand why they decided to go with that one. And then the second time they pull them out, they're no longer cream tops; they are now wiener bread.
Well, gotta get that wiener bread on, man.
Yeah, I think that's so funny because that's when the Mankeys fucking attacking them. So Brock is just pulling out his wiener bread, trying to throw it at him, but Mankey's not having it. That's so I'm wasting perfectly good wiener bread, and I'm like, that doesn't even look like. Okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah. The problem is, it's we have rice cookies. we have like sweet rice cookies. I'm like, you know what? That is good enough. I won't even contest. Never ate them filled with jam. But that's okay. That's acceptable. It's better than a donut. Especially because that was the problem, because donuts aren't that famous or common in Brazil. So if they use donuts, no one would know what it is. But if you use cookies, it's like, oh, okay, it's I can see that. Okay, fine.
I just would have wished that they would have stuck with the fucking cream tops in an original, because that would have at least made somewhat sense. It kind of looks like one. Not like not when you know what it is. Obviously, it doesn't look like it is a cream top. But like you could make people believe that. But the moment the wiener bread comes, I was like, because I remember that even as a kid when they started talking about what those were, I just looked at them and was like, that doesn't seem right. I've never seen a wiener bread like that before. All right, I guess maybe they're just some weird design decisions, because I didn't know it was Japanese.
Let's see here. I think out of all the badges Ash got, to this day, the Charizard Magmar one, that little arc that they had, him trying to get the fire badge, is still among my favorite. Because the Charizard, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard never listened to Ash, right? Because I guess the Pokemon was at a higher level, and Ash was never there.
Oh yeah, there was that.
But we never went through the arc.
Does that translate to the game as well? I think there was a mechanic in the game, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. If you level up your Pokemon too high, then if you put them in battle before you've gotten to a badge or gotten that badge, the Pokemon would stop listening to you randomly in battle and just wouldn't attack. So that was a mechanic. So that translated into the anime with the Charmander character, which kind of... I wish they... This is a good example of I wish the anime would actually kind of focus on some of these things a bit more. Like, the Charmander being put in battle all the time, and then leveling up, and then slowly just not listening to him over and over again, because Ash hasn't proven that he's capable of, being a trainer, basically. But that did happen in the Magmar battle arc, the Fire Badge, because the Charizard got the shit kicked out of him, and he was about to die, and
right.
That's the constant threat of death in Pokemon is always there, and unless you're about to die, then no one listens to you. Pikachu is another example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
they recreated
weird.
The scene from Birds, and
speaking of speaking of
Ash commits larceny.
Yeah, but speaking of fucking weird game elements that they tried to show off in the anime, like the trade. Trying to show off the trade mechanic in the anime, that was just a fucking waste of time.
It was.
Why?
I shouldn't have.
Why not?
Get rid of my Butterfree.
He just trades his Pokemon only to trade it back again.
Yeah.
I was like, why?
The limit cap Pokemon, like after you have 6 in your team.
Oh yeah, the fucking Pokemon ball that just lights up and disappears.
Straight out of fucking alien technology, just straight up vanishes.
Yeah. What's going on? Is it gonna explode? No, it's just getting sent back to the Pokemon Center. Oh.
Yeah, it just teleports. It's fine. That exists in this world.
I think it's not only does it exist, it fucking just randomly teleports. We already knew teleporting existed. We saw that when when we first get introduced to Team Rocket. But fucking, at least that makes sense. That's from a fucking, that's getting teleported from a fucking station. But nah, this ball just teleports out of midair. Which makes me, if they can do that, why are people traveling from city to city on foot? Clearly you have teleportation invented.
Well, clearly they do via Pokemon, so all they have to do is find out a capsule and how to put a human inside.
Chop them up into tiny pieces and put them in there.
and then they can appear somewhere else. Oh, man. The Pokemon League, I rewatched that whole arc at the end, and that was quite... It really put in perspective of how much Ash just doesn't learn and doesn't know still after 70-plus episodes. He goes into battle, still knows, like, no weaknesses of how anything works. He has no preparation. He's just like, oh my god, I have all these Pokemon I've kind of caught over these 70 episodes. We haven't seen 2/3 of them. But man, Tauros, that bull thing that I caught that you never saw. How about this Krabby that I randomly caught on a beach? And
Krabby.
It randomly levels up in a battle, even though I've never battled with it before.
Yeah.
I've neglected so hard.
No,
I just decided, fuck you.
No. Krabby was fine. He was drinking tea and making poetry with Professor Oak.
That's true.
Yeah,
he
was
having a very nice life.
And now he gets transported into battle, and Ash doesn't know any of the moves of any of his Pokemon. Always.
No, like even with the.
Don't worry.
What is the?
No, just don't worry about it. You know, Ash never learns anyways.
And he never learns any new moves either.
He just brute force.
I mean, that doesn't change though. Even later anime, he still doesn't know.
It's quite aggravating.
Just brute force his way through the mouse. Like with the
Pikachu, Thundershock, Pikachu, Quick Attack. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Eventually learns Thunder. Ooh.
Pikachu learned Iron Tail at some point as well, doesn't he?
Yes.
Well, I mean, in the Indigo League?
I don't remember if it's in the Indigo League, but I know
think
he
it's
learned
in
it
the
at some
Indigo
point.
Oh man, it is doing the Ruby Sapphire anime, I think.
I don't.
It is
remember.
way
I
later.
just remember
Like way,
that I
it's
watched an
way
episode
later.
like that as well.
It's way later, yeah.
No, I just like the
that's a new
episode
move.
Episode
only took
25,
fucking
episode
ever.
25, the monkey, and every Pokemon Ash throws is just getting beat up because he's incompetent, and he throws Charmander, and Charmander is just getting beat up, and then suddenly it's like, oh, that is his power. He just resurrects. It's like Pokedex is like, oh, if Charmander is beat up, he'll just get fired up and fight to the death. I'm like, I don't remember.
He gets stronger once he's beaten up. Okay, so basically, let me get this right. Charmander has the power of masochism.
Yes. And I was like, I don't.
And don't forget, if the flame on his tail ever goes out, it dies.
Yes.
So quite a flaw in its evolutionary ability there.
And I was like, oh, I don't remember that power in the game, but okay, that's fine.
Well, I think it's the rage power.
No, rage is the one the monkey used. I don't think Charmander learns rage.
I think it does.
I think I'm with JD on this one. I seem to remember something along those lines as well.
Yeah.
Although I'm no expert.
The Sabrina Psychic Badge arc is still kind of holds up. It's weird that they
Sabrina have kind of is such a fucked
Sabrina
up.
mind control type shit is kind of weird.
Kinda.
Can I just say, I love the fact that whenever Ash shows up, everybody's always just like, oh, I'm warning you, don't go to this gym. This gym is pretty fucking dangerous. Nobody ever goes there because nobody wants to be defeated because nobody can beat Sabrina. And then every time after Ash eventually goes away with that undeserved badge of his, he's always told right after, oh yeah, the other Pewter City people were here as well, and they're fucking, not Pewter, the Pallet City trainers, they were already here, they won easy. It's like, alright.
Yeah, oh my god, in the Pokemon League, Gary shows his, like, slew of badges, and there's, of course, like, 7 of them you don't recognize. You go, where the hell did you get those? It is my understanding that these are the only towns that exist.
Yeah, that was always a thing. I know that's been pointed out a lot. Gary always has more badges than there are gyms for some reason. So, in my headcanon, he's just forging them himself. He's just buying fucking fake badges just to show off how superior he is. I'm getting badges that don't even exist.
Yeah. Oh, they go to Giovanni's badge and the gym, and the door's like always locked and he's never there. I'm like, what a great gym. Oh, he's there this one time. So rules. Gary, how did you get that badge too? Excuse me?
There are like no fucking rules for how the gym leaders are supposed to keep going. Like, they have rules for Pokemon battles, standard rules, but like, there is no rule. There is not even a rule that says that a gym leader actually, like, Brock said he had to accept any challenge, but later on, trainers just start fucking refusing to accept challenges.
Yeah, you're not ready.
Reason. Like, Ash doesn't like perfume, therefore, fuck it, you can't battle here.
I mean, apparently there's not even a rule that the gym leader needs to be defeated so you can win the badge.
No, they can just give their badge away.
Apparently, there's a rule that they can lose and still not. The trainer can lose and still not have to give out because they're not ready for it. I don't understand.
Yeah, I was waiting for like a gym leader to be walking on the street. He just drops one, and Ash just picks it up and he goes, "Hey, how about this? I won."
Fantastic. Hey, can I have that back?
No,
you lost it.
Technically, that's true.
Yeah. The Team Rocket always shows up. They blast off again. That's
Team Rocket is the best character.
I should definitely make a drop of Team Rocket blasting off again. I should do that, and it should be like 3 different languages in a row.
Yeah, I mean, you got it. English, Norwegian, Brazilian.
I have the technology. No, it's going to be German, Portuguese, and Norwegian.
Get Portugal's Portuguese.
Don't do it.
Not Brazilian Portuguese?
Portugal's Portuguese dub industry is very bad. It always been. So
it sound hilarious.
Should sound horrible. So yeah. They use, to my understanding of the anime I've seen in Portugal's Portuguese, they use a lot of ad lib, which means they don't really give a shit about what is in the script. So sometimes it doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know. I should watch the rest of Pokemon in Portugal's Portuguese. Just no. I know it's very bad. I've seen people talking about it, but I don't know. Might as well.
So I know it's all about like kind of getting friends and power friendship. That that's what Pokemon's kind of about. But I kind of got irritated a bit. Obviously not as a kid. I was just kind of going through the motion and watching and being a kid, being 10. But like take the Sabrina one where he goes through all the trouble to befriend Haunter and all this. It's Haunter obeys Ash through battle, but it's actually Sabrina's Haunter the entire time. That, like, really just broke a lot of the world's understanding of how Pokemon and work exactly.
That's not what happened in the Norwegian version. The Norwegian version is that Ash befriends Haunter, and it's not. The thing that annoyed me was that he never actually caught it.
Yeah.
So
no, he never did.
He will never technically have control over that Pokemon, and it still tries to use it in battle, and of course, he just fucks off. Like, I'm not going to be here. And then, at the end, the final time he shows up and he distracts Sabrina and makes her laugh, so outside interference again.
Of course, right.
And we have Ash again wins. And then it's just like, well, it's the dad literally. Yeah, well, it seems like Sabrina and Haunter's getting along really well. So I think he's decided to stay with her. Like,
well, no, because I believe there was an actual statement that says Ash caught Haunter, but then he just left it behind with Sabrina.
Not in the Norwegian one. They never said he caught it.
He just befriends Haunter and then begs for him to show up in a.
I'm pretty sure I remember a phrase.
I'm pretty sure you're wrong.
When they say caught
Team Rocket
Haunter.
Was like
nope.
Almost falling to the almost dying again. Also, a lot of homicide is committed in Pokemon, but it's a kid show, so
Team Rocket should have died. They fucking smashed into the concrete.
No, dude. Was before this episode, they were in a helicopter. The fucking helicopter exploded.
Yep.
I want to know what power Hunter uses to take the souls out of Ash and Pikachu.
The power of Ghost.
The power of Ghost power.
No, just the power of Ghost.
Ghost. Yeah.
Why
Ghost.
Why can you do this, Ghost?
It's a ghost
Okay,
type.
fair enough.
All right, fine. What are we gonna do with our ghost time? I don't know. Let's play some.
Make fun of
jokes.
Misty.
Let's make fun of Misty and then drop her from 60 feet.
Oh,
See what
yeah.
happens.
Picks her up in the air and be like, what are you gonna do? Hey, Rock, catch! No!
Casually committing homicide.
What if he didn't? What if he wouldn't? What if he would have fucking just said no?
Splat. Oh no, what have I done?
Well, I guess I don't have to pay back a bicycle anymore.
Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, talking about
yeah,
the bicycle,
it's
the
all about
amount of theft that they commit. In this, every episode now and then, they just steal something. It's like, oh,
Team Rocket only does it twice. I listened to 25 episodes I saw.
true.
Oh.
Ash did 5 times, I believe, including Jew boats. Oh man.
So basically, Ash is the real thief.
He is. He commits thievery.
Thieving.
Oh, what else is there?
There are
see
some
here.
censored episodes.
The beach episode.
The Shemale James episode. Oh my god, that episode. That episode was too much. That was too much for me, and I'm 23. And I was like, oh.
It's just so weird because we're used to seeing... We've seen multiple times. Jess dresses up. Fucking James is...
As a woman, yeah.
James, he likes cross-dressing, but fucking... There's just something weird about seeing just James with huge tits. It's like,
Come on, what's weird about that?
Look,
the fact that it's James with huge
Come on, he's
tits.
just way in. He's just way into it, man. Who are
Yeah.
the judge?
I myself, and I don't like that.
This is 2020 retrospective. Come on, if he wants to have a giant rack, let him have a giant rack on the beach, man.
Well, I mean, clearly he didn't because he got rid of it.
Ah, well, guy can't knock until you try it.
I think I can. I don't particularly want giant tits.
What is with Ash's obsession and Pokemon and the Pokemon Ash has to not evolve, except Charmander?
You know,
I know a couple others evolve, but they're not really part of the core group. So like Squirtle never evolves, Bulbasaur's vehemently against it, despite its like natural instinct.
I think it happens at some point, but yeah, no, that's way later. I don't know. Again, my head canon just is because Ash is such a fucking useless trainer. They can't be bothered. You know? Nah, there's no point.
well,
There's no point. He sucks. If I evolve, then I won't listen to him anymore. I guess that's it. They know it. They're just like, nah. I still want to be his buddy.
yeah, it's the Pikachu.
And then, of course, like Squirtle leaves. Butterfree set free. Haunter just stays behind. He never catches it, or he does, or whatever it is. Shit. What else? What other Pokemon? Like it never grows a group.
Yeah, because he's a bad trainer.
He is a bad trainer. He's a bad Pokemon master.
Pokemonster.
Pokemancer. He's a bad Pokemancer. He's 10. He's 10 and knows nothing of his world. Why are we shocked about this as we talk?
he's a bad Pokemon. Yeah. I mean, it's the Pikachu speech kind of scenario. You know, but and the when he fought against Raichu. Yeah, it's like I wanna win as I am, because if I evolve, I don't know if I'll stay myself. So I wanna win and prove that all Pikachus are strong. As James just balls out. Oh man, they give the Team Rocket is the best characters in this show.
I guess that's a reason, because when a Pokemon evolves, but wouldn't they? I guess it implies that their entire personality and who they are changes, right? I guess that's the understanding of it. they're no longer the same thing. Like if a human would evolve, I would no longer be JD. I would be, I don't know, let's say Tori.
You would never be me.
That's my evolution. I become a Norwegian in Bergen.
No. JD just start flashing. Just like, oh, what is this? JD is evolving. It's like becomes becomes a Norwegian guy with a goatee.
Yeah.
Oh, that is cursed. Oh my god, that is. Never go there anymore, please. It's not safe wherever we went. Yeah, I think it's more.
Don't worry about it.
It's more like that. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Now that I think about it, I would honestly liked if they evolved. But, anyway.
I mean, I also would have liked to see Ash train his Pokemon, instead of trying to find weird alternative ways to power up his Pokemon, like fucking connecting Pikachu to the fucking water mill and have him fucking thread water to get electricity in.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like, fuck training him. Nah, we're just gonna fucking amp up the electricity.
A battery to his cheeks.
It's like, okay.
Ash is just speed running.
You're right, Tori.
That's basically it.
Tori, you're absolutely right, because that is a big problem. I as a kid, I had an issue with. So the structure is very much like the game, where it shows it's a good structure because there's an episodic nature to meeting different trainers along the way and defeating them, but there was such a lack of actually training
grinding.
His Pokemon. And grind, that grind and actually wanting to quote unquote be the best. He was just traveling. Oh, look, another gym, and then of course he's like, "Shit, I'm not ready because I haven't done anything." And then he has to come with this roundabout way to solve his issue because he hasn't done shit. And there's not enough action. Like the first 2 episodes, he's very adamant about trying to catch a Pokemon because that's what he wants. And then as the series goes on, he just encounters all these ones. He just goes, you know what? I don't need to catch that. It's cool. It's cool, man. Now, Pikachu, go in there and battle to the death for me.
Yeah. The few he wants to catch, he always gets distracted and they get away.
Right. Like, every once in a while, he'll see one. The Krabby is just, like, so random to me, too. He's like, we're on the beach. Catch it. Cool. Never see it again until Pokemon League.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tiny Krabby. Nobody wants that. Except Ash, because, I mean, they didn't have any Pokemon. Barely
but
had Pokemon.
that was, like, such a huge issue in the Pokemon League with me. It's like, he's trying to come up with a team, and then when you think about it, you go, well, your Butterfree was fucking gone in 20 episodes, so that's out. Squirtle, I guess I have to go, like, get him out of that gang he joined or whatever.
Oh, man.
Charmander doesn't listen to me. Well, he kind of does. Or Charizard. And then Pikachu. All right, what else do I got? Oh, well, I've only caught like 8 of them, so I guess this only leaves 3. Meanwhile, Gary over here's got 33, 45, 65 with 10 badges. Maybe half of them don't exist because he's in a counterfeit operation. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. No, I just like to fucking imagine Ash rocking up at the Pokemon League, and then it's like everybody's ready to battle, and he's like, "All right, I send out my level 7 Pikachu," and everyone's like, "What?
Excuse me?
How did you?
No wonder
how did you
lost.
get the badges?" Yeah, you know.
Yes, how the hell are you here?
There's no rule saying that if you win, you get the badges.
I mean, yeah.
So
it just says you need the badges, or you can go to Pokemon school and get in, which is lame.
Oh my god! You know what would have solved all this?
And probably would have gone to Pokemon school and learned something.
I mean, yes, school in general. I mean, that kind of. As far as we know, Ash never went to school.
I mean,
yeah.
That is actually true. I don't think there was a school. I think there was only Professor Oak.
No. Yeah.
So, fuck. What was I gonna say? Oh, here we go. Would have been solved if there were fucking Dragon Ball Scouters, Dragon Ball Z Scouters, where each trainer has like a scouter and they could look at the Pokemon. I guess the Pokedex could function as that easily. You just poke a Pokemon with the Dex. You go, where are you? Pikachu, level 7. Cool.
I'm just picturing fucking Ash smacking Pikachu with his Pokedex.
Jab it in its side. What are you? Tell me your level.
I like Pikachu. I really love you.
Ash, what does the scouter say about his power level? It's 7.
Great. Get in there, Pokemon League. Bellsprout, what is that? Oh, shit, it's level 32.
Do I get rid of it?
Uh-oh.
Did he ever get the little disc to the Pokemon? Like to what is the name? HMs?
That did?
No,
he never got any of those.
Look, no, dude.
Although there were the episodes.
Dirty jokes with that when I was a kid. Yeah. Like, look, Pikachu.
There
really
were
love
episodes of.
But you need to be strong.
Encountering the Pokemon. That you would need those HMs for. So there's a Snorlax episode, which is real goofy.
But there's no
Ash does catch that Snorlax.
He does have a Snorlax.
Yeah.
It's like...
Now, does he ever use it? No, because it just sleeps all the time, so it's used as comedy. And of course, that's like his strongest one, because when you catch it in the game, it's level whatever, right? So then when he pulls it out, you go, oh! That's like his strongest Pokemon next to Charizard. Charizard, the only one that you conceivably can see, has grown over the course of time.
Pikachu has grown.
So, yeah. Well.
He went from hating Ash to liking him.
Well, yeah. Pikachu's just kind of there. He knows like 3 attacks. That's it.
Pikachu is such a fuck. Oh my god.
Pikachu, I love you, but you need to be stronger. So I bought this disc.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a new attack. So...
Pikachu, in the future, you're gonna struggle fighting your fucking downgrade, the Pichus. That's bad.
Oh my god. That happened, didn't it?
It did happen. It does happen in one of the later episodes. That's why it's so fucking... It's just like, how? How are you? Oh my god. I know there's 2 of them, but still.
You know, this is a great example of watching like an old cartoon you watched as a child, and you just go, wow, there's a lot of problems with this. Now, was I entertained as a kid? Absolutely. As 10, the show was super fun and addicting, and I watched it every Saturday.
The show was fun now.
As 30... well, I mean, it's fun to just poke at all the holes and...
But I don't know. It might be just... Might just be because...
it was more fun to see its flaws.
Might just be because I've watched it as a kid, and I have a lot of happy memories about it, and my week was the trash in a very long time. So it was my happy time.
Yeah. Now, I will say this, though. Like, when it comes to Pokemon, while the original Pokemon wasn't particularly good, I did also take the opportunity to watch some Pokemon that's airing right now, or rather the ONA that's airing right now, called Twilight Wings.
Oh no.
And I watched 2 of those episodes, and honestly, that one is really good. I'm going to keep watching that. It is infinitely better. It's not about Ash at all, thankfully, finally. Get rid of...
People know how to write a story now?
Hey,
they do.
I mean,
like,
Pokemon...
it's one of those things that's like, this is literally made by, like, obviously it's made by animators, but like, it's made by fans of Pokemon.
At this
point,
they know more.
They know more about Pokemon than the people who make Pokemon.
The OVA,
so it's like, it's actually interesting.
The Pokemon Origin OVA was really nice.
Yeah, it's basically. So, yeah, if you want to watch Pokemon, if you want good Pokemon, look into the ONAs and the OVAs and stuff like that. That's where the good Pokemon is.
Well, how about that? Not bad. All right.
So, just a quick mention, the music is amazing. It's just a rework of the game music, but in a orchestra.
Yes.
But, man, it is such a good soundtrack. Damn.
Yes, right.
So, I was still... This was very easy to watch. It was definitely nostalgia road here, big time. Let's see. We didn't talk about the Japanese names of the characters, just really quick. Satoshi, Takeshi, and Kasumi.
Pokemon, getto dase!
At least Pikachu is universally in every language.
Yeah, I watched a couple of episodes in Japanese, but it's just... it doesn't work. I know it's the original. I know that's what it's supposed to be, but it's wrong on every level. The names are wrong. Their personalities are wrong. The story is wrong. Japan, I know you made it, but you're wrong.
Yeah, there's no way to watch it in Japanese. I've watched the censored episodes in Japanese, and I was like,
I was very much the same way, yeah.
The only way of watching Pokemon is in your native language. That's the right way. Except if you're Japanese. If you're Japanese, then you're wrong.
If you're Japanese, then watch it in English.
So that's funny. Yeah, I pretty much got the same experience in German. It was just the Pokemon names changed. Well, some of them did, anyways. There's a lot that are still...
None of my names changed.
Sorry, let me rephrase. If you're German or Japanese, you're wrong. So watch in another language.
I mean, it still had English subtitles for a lot of things, like Tori said. So, yeah, I mean, like, every episode imaginable is on Netflix, hopefully in your country. If you're in the United States, you can watch it, and I think it was like 7 languages I counted. So, that's something you could look forward to, look into. Of course, you can put English or whatever subtitles you want as well. So, if you're looking to brush up on your basics of a language and, or even want to learn a different language, this isn't the worst idea. You know, it's kind of like me watching One Piece and Jimmy Neutron and SpongeBob and stuff when I first moved to Germany. Pokemon in a different language isn't the worst idea. Because it's very simplistic. They don't talk really fast most of the time, and when they do, it's usually like the Team Rocket Blast Off Again, where they say it really fast, but it's in like every episode. So
I mean, I would not recommend doing that. I would not recommend doing that, and the reason for that is just, especially if you come to, you want to try to learn Norwegian and you try to do that. First of all, the way they speak is very dated, and second of all, again, the way they speak is just, you can't really have a conversation that way. It's not, people don't talk like they do in the anime. Like,
oh, come on, that would be really funny. Come on, Tori, if I learn Norwegian through Pokemon, and I come and talk, I start speaking Norwegian to you with the old 90s slang, you would love it. Come on.
I would barely understand you.
You would love it. It'd be like talking to the kids 10 years older than you.
I would be like, the fuck did you just say about my mother?
Did you just call me disgusting?
You fucking piece of trash.
No, it's just my 90s accent.
I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm gonna kick your tiny ass.
But this was a good nostalgia trip. It was good. I started playing some Pokemon Sword again just to see how much the anime's changed and not changed. Tori, you went even the extra mile watching today's Pokemon O&A going on, so kudos to that. That was quite the shock.
I wanted to do more. Like, I wanted to watch more different, like, newer stuff and compare it to, like, older. I wanted to originally do, like, the original Pokemon movies and kind of compare those.
Well, I mean, we watched, I think it was, Pokemon 2000 for the cast at one point and compared it to the Digimon movie?
Well, yeah.
We did do that. Well,
no.
I mean, if we want to compare how, like, story arcs to the movies go, the story arcs are very... Because it's an episode, and they have to contain it within 20 minutes, as opposed to a 2-hour movie. Obviously, you're going to have more emotional build-up and connection through a longer story. But that doesn't mean... That's kind of my harping on just the series in general, because there's so much connection you could easily have here. And that's why the movie hit as hard as it did for a lot of people when Pikachu cried and all the Pokemon cried and Ash died and turned to stone, but then the power of love saved him, blah, blah, blah. There was the opportunity for many story arcs for the series, but they just didn't do it. They just made it this 4-year-old cartoon, which, is fine. I'm just saying the opportunity is there for a bigger, better story. Right? Yeah,
no, definitely. No, but that wasn't really my intention. My intention was more to kind of like comparing, like, I wanted to look more into like the older one versus the newer ones to see like what's changed apart from everything. Okay. But yeah, right. So it's like that was my idea, but then because we're recording this a week early, and then
gasp.
I know, right? So I didn't have time for that, so I was just like, you know what? And I wasn't even planning on watching like 25 episodes of the original. I was originally planning to do what you did and just watch a couple episodes that I liked, but then I just fucking kept putting on, just having, with Netflix, you just have like skip the next episode immediately,
Sure, yeah.
And I'm just sitting there fucking like going through episodes, and all of a sudden I'm like, I watched like 25 episodes now. All right.
Well, I mean, I just saw the synopsis and I'm like, okay, that's kind of that's the in-between episode. Skip it, skip it, skip it, skip it, skip it. I mean, I watched the Sandshrew one because Sandshrew is my favorite Pokemon, so I saw that. Seeing the guy like forcefully have a Pokemon do something it hates over and over again is quite alarming. And you see a lot of that in the series.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched all the gym battles. I watched the Pokemon League, so I did watch a good chunk.
But you didn't
I
watch
just
it all,
wish
JD.
there was more connection. You actually saw like some development between these Pokemon. You just don't get that.
It's a cartoon for kids.
I know, but come on.
No,
I think that'd be.
I will not come on, JD. This is for kids. You're disgusting.
Hey, you will enjoy your what did you call it? The white cream pasty or whatever. What'd you call that?
The cream top.
Cream top. You will enjoy that cream top.
Very, very
Those are pretty
poor
good.
phrasing as the subject developed.
I'm gonna give Pokemon Indigo League a 6. It was fine. As a retro watch, I tried to take my nostalgia glasses off a little bit. I'm sure as I remember as a kid, I loved it. It was probably like an 8, closer to an 8. But I think even if it's for kids, you can still get a kid more heavily invested in a story as opposed to an episodic 20-minute story that is heavily condensed. So I'll give it a 6. It's fine. No, nothing wrong with a kid show. There you go. Who's next?
Oh, I mean, I'll give it a 5. Not because like anything technical or anything. I don't think it can rate Pokemon. So I'll give it a 5.
Oh.
It's quite dated because it's a kid show, and because it's a kid show,
Yes.
there wasn't a lot of money on it to begin with. So a 5, it's like midway. That's good enough.
Sure.
I honestly don't know how to rate Pokemon. It's way too precious for me.
Wow, guy. No, let's see. Pokemon, like I said, for me, Digimon was always better than Pokemon, and I am justified in that opinion now, more so than I ever was, and it feels great. Pokemon for me was fun as a kid, but it loses its charm very quickly. And I definitely felt that watching it again as well. It was fun kind of getting refamiliarizing myself with the Norwegian dub and kind of, the silliness that is Pokemon. And just moving on to the next episode was kind of easy, but after a while you start to kind of be like, it's just more of the same. It's not a great show. I would not even say that it's a good show. Production-wise, the show is very poor. Very poor. Stark contrast to Pokemon now, because surprisingly enough, modern Pokemon looks fucking good.
Yeah,
so
true.
that was something that I fucking couldn't get back to. And it's just, overall, there are too many negatives for me to look past. I have fun with it because it's nostalgic, because it's a part of my childhood.
Oh, sure, yeah. I'm sure a lot of people feel that way.
But I don't think it's a good show, so I'm going to give it a 4.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6. How about that?
Oh.
Okay. That makes it overall a 5. It is an average kid show that was very much a sensation worldwide.
Basically.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Our next episode we will be recording for is the 80s sexual assault anime comedy City Hunter.
Yeet.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Finally
We're
some good fucking...
That, oh my god.
Finally some good fucking food.
That is going to be something. And then we're ever so closer to Sailor Moon R.
Oh,
yes.
We're getting there, boys. We're getting there.
Prepare your hate mail. And send it to JD.
Email that you can send it to is in the description of every episode. Don't forget to write us a review on the iTunes Podchaser. That's one where the reviews actually do affect the podcast. We've been getting a lot more downloads from there lately. And hit us up on YouTube. I'm going to be trying to stream more Dreams lately. Maybe some Mario Maker 2, who knows. Doing more things. Video gaming is right back in the fold. Hit us up online at the Twitters. We all got the Twitter profiles in the description of every episode. Use the hashtag RedleafRetrocast. We'll see you next time. This was episode 70. Peace.
Peace.
Jag vill nå hem till drops, det är ett enkelt mål. Stå på och bli bäst och visa närmare stå.
Electro digital, need to run man cave, Venusaur, Ratata, Firo, PG, Seeking, Jolton, Dragon Knight, Gatly, Ponyta, Vaporeon, Polyrap, Better Free.
Då reiser jeg av sted ut i det blå og fanger Pokémon så mange jeg kan få.
Venomoth, Poliwag, Nidoran and Golduck, Ivysaur, Grimer, Victable, Moltres, Nidoking, Farfetch, Starbrow, Jigglypuff, Kingler, Rhyhorn, Gleefable, Veilatuff. Zubik, Primate, Meowth, Onix, Geodude, Rapidash, Magneton, Snorlax, Ginger, Tangela, Golden, Spearow, Weezing, Seal, Gyarados, Slowbro.